It is 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is Storicon, the story conference. I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories we're watching this Monday, April 7. Palawan board member Ryan Dagsa Maminta insists that the 3 Filipinos arrested in Hainan, China are not spies. He says they are scholars under a legitimate educational exchange program between Palawan and Hainan and lack any spy training or background. The National Security Council has also expressed alarm over the arrest, saying this could be a retaliatory action for the apprehension of suspected Chinese spies in the Philippines. Malacanang announces that the charges against 17 overseas Filipino workers arrested in Qatar earlier have been dropped. The OFWs were detained for protesting former President Duterte's arrest without a permit. The OFWs can now choose to return to work in Qatar or come back to the Philippines. VP Sara Duterte is now back in the country after her trip to the Netherlands in support of her father. The Vice President is expected to address relevant matters in the coming days. It is not clear if she will respond to a revelation of Congressman Paulo Ortega of more suspicious names linked to the OVP's confidential funds. The new aliases include Hanilet, Magellan, Ewan, and multiple Fionas. Senate President Chis Escudero and Malacanang confirmed the presence of cabinet secretaries in the third hearing on former President Duterte's arrest. That inquiry is led by Senator Amy Marcos's Committee on Foreign Relations. Expected to attend on April 10 are Justice Secretary Boying Remulla, DFA Secretary Enrique Manalo, PNP Chief Romel Marbil, and CIDG Chief General Nicolas Torre, among others. And a Chinese Coast Guard ship nearly collided with a Philippine Coast Guard vessel of Zambales waters on Sunday. The Coast Guard says this marks Beijing's return to patrolling near the province after a brief lull. In Batanes, the Coast Guard has deployed an aircraft to challenge the Chinese research vessel Zhongshan Dashui. The agency is documenting the vessel's activities, which appear to involve unauthorized maritime scientific research. And joining us today is Storycon's resident political papa, Tito Ronald Llamas. Tito Ronald.
Happy Monday!
Buhay na buhay ka ngayon
Happy Monday. Alam mo naman, pag Lunes, gising na gising tayo. Para pwede tayong matulog sa Tuesday tsaka sa Wednesday.
Ito tayo. Ito, magigising ka sa kulay niyan.
Yan,
Sa kulay pa lang.
lemon yellow. Sariwang
Lemon
kalamansi.
yellow from the Philippine Star, ang ating namumulaklak sa pagkadilaw. sorry, Ami. Sa pagkadilaw.
Happy Monday.
Ang editor-in-chief ng Star na si Ami Pamintuan.
Parehas na yung kulay nung kwan
Happy Monday. Siyempre makulay pag pag Monday.
Parehas mo yung kulay ng Philippine Star, Ami.
Yung isang araw, blue naman.
Ayan, blue and yellow.
So, yun. So, at least buhay na buhay si Ami. Ikaw, you're
Siyempre.
still back to your...
Ako, buhay na buhay ako. Si Manny Mugato lang hindi ko sigurado eh.
Mamaya, si Manny kasama natin mamaya.
Mamaya, sa iba.
Tuhugin natin si Manny Mogs.
Baka kalahati ron, tulog yun.
Kailangan mo lang spasipahin si Manny ng konti. Para magising Sorry, nag-usapan namin ang aming security editor, si Mr. Manuel Mogato, ang ating Pulitzer Prize winner.
Yan ang security expert na laging tulog.
Ganun siya ka-secure.
yan ang dapat ipadala sa China para hulihin na sa spy. Sabagay, ikaw ba pagkakamala mong spy si Manny Mugato?
Hindi. Pero doon siya magaling. Actually, magaling si Manny sa ano.
Kala mo tulog, di pala nakikinig.
Parang
Ayaw
sponge
ng
yan.
journalist doon, Baka mahuli yan doon.
Oo nga
Ayaw ng China ng mga journalist.
Eto nga, kung lang mga estudyante lang, hinuli pa Mga taga-Palawan.
Exchange student pa yan. Exchange student nila yan.
Linaw-linaw naman, ganti yan
Pero kung gantihan yun, ano ibig what does that mean in terms of the nature of the Chinese citizens we arrested here?
Kailangan
Is that an admission?
Kailangan kasi nilang ipakita sa kanilang sariling People's Liberation Army at sa sarili nilang mga mamamayan na yung pagkakahuli ng mga espiyan nila sa Pilipinas ay hindi nila papalampasin. They won't take it sitting down.
It's also saving face.
Kailangan meron silang gawin para ang problema, halimbawa, pag nasa China ako nitong starting 2016 to hanggang bago mag-COVID, andun ako almost every year Yung lahat ng mga entertainers doon, puro Pinoy. Dahil magagaling mag-English, magagaling mag-Mandarin. Lahat na napuntahan kong hotel sa China, ang performers, puro Pinoy. No? Kaya gustong-gusto tayo ron as entertainers. Baka mapagkamalan ding
Maapektuhan nga yung ano natin yung people-to-people exchanges natin na yan.
Oo.
Malaki impact niyan.
Baka pati yung mga entertainers natin mapagkamalang mga espiya.
Pero what I mean is ano ibig sabihin noon in terms of the allegation na itong mga nahuling Chinese are spies? Kasi if our charge is that we caught Chinese spies at nag-retaliate ang China, does that imply na it's an admission that they are spying? Hindi naman.
Hindi naman, pero halimbawa, yung mga nahuli kasi natin, meron talagang malinaw na ebidensya. May mga materyales, may mga equipments, meron silang mga pinuntahan na mga strategic locations, no? Hindi ko ma-imagine kung anong pinuntahan nitong mga tatlo nating mga estudyante sa China. Na exchange student
Unless
mismo
tinur
nila.
sila.
Oo,
Exchange student, pwede kang i-tour sa mga mga security facilities
pwede. Halimbawa ako, nung nandun ako, mga pinuntahan namin, hindi lang mga tourist sites pinakita sa amin yung mga tangke nila.
Government offices. Ilang beses na ako nagpunta dyan Officially, nasa tourist.
Uminom ka rin ng
Pag official ka, you have access to government security facilities.
pero ito mga kwan lang
Limited,
Pero ito mga exchange students lang Tayo, iba tayo nun May pagka-political yung ating mga bisita Pero ito, mga estudyante lang, hindi naman dadalhin ito sa mga kwan sa mga strategic locations
As exchange students, these were sponsored by China?
Yes, bayad nila yan.
Yes, of course. Kung
Bayad
exchange
nila yan.
student yan, involved ang China. Kaya nakakapagtaka yung ginawa nilang yan.
Mga tika-Palawan yan mga tika-Palawan
Okay, so you would suppose they were vetted by China?
Most probably.
But that would be an assumption.
Ba't naman nila gagastusan mga espiya? Diba?
Yes.
Sila mismo mapapahiya. Pero mo, ginastusan nila mga espiya.
Dapat siya, no?
Oo. Yan. Kung halimbawa, Ed Lingaw yan, no? Yan, ng mga Patrick Paes, yan, baka hindi pumasa yan sa betting. Dahil baka kung ano yung mga paggagawin yan doon, kung ano mga report ang ilalabas niyan, no?
Paggagawin talaga
Yan. Pero kung mga katulad ko lang, yung mga
ganun lang.
labas-masok yan dahil kung lang kami. Napaka-harmless namin
Di ba ikaw nga international man of mystery?
Ayun, hanggang mystery nila.
Ang ating resident Mr. Suabe.
Ikaw ba, Ami, pinainom ka ba dyan ng kwan? Pinainom ka ba dyan ng Mautai?
Ang dami-dami ko ng beses nagpunta sa
yung Mautai, nainom mo ba yun?
Yung sponsored nila.
Yung alak
Pag
nila?
sponsored nila, ano ka, ayun. Maraming kung ano. Pati Scorpion, pinakain na ako dyan.
Yung alak nila, matindi yun. Parang brake fluid yun. Pero,
Allergic ako, hindi ako pwede uminom.
Yung Mautai nila, mahal yun No?
Yung ba yung pinainom mo dati sa amin?
Yung pinakamura nun. Yung pinakamura nun, mga 20 mil. Pinakamura,
Hanggang tsa.
Pero,
hanggang tea lang ako, hanggang tea. Pero mahal din ang tea nila
natural yun, wala kang hangover doon, pero sobrang tapang.
Pero malulusaw naman ng bituka mo.
Hindi naman. Pagkatapos mo uminom.
Healthy naman yun.
Pagkatapos mo uminom. Walang, natural siya
parang brake fluid
Natural. Yung lasa, pero yung laman niya, natural pa yun. Kaya wala kang hangover. Natural siya, walang chemicals.
Pag uminom ng gasolina, wala rin hangover yun.
Wala nga, pero chemical yun Ito, hindi. Isang lugar lang ang pinagkukuhanan nito
Ang gasolina is is all natural. Not all natural, pero it comes from under, the remnants of ancient sea creatures.
Fossil. Mga patay. Mga patayan.
So,
Fossil fuel.
not exactly all chemical. But anyway, teka, Ami, anong top stories nyo for today? On this Monday?
Yung mga plano, nagsalita si Trump, sabi niya, yun daw, mga tariff niya is medicine. Habang magkukumbulsyon na isa, medicine daw, it's a bitter pill that people have to swallow.
Grabe yung rally
Habang siya ay nirarally na.
Milyon,
At sabi ng Malacanang,
milyon yung
nagkakaroon
nagrally.
naman daw tayo ng mga plano to mitigate whatever negative impact magkaroon man. Kasi yung mga farmers, ang pinaka nag-aalala talaga yung agriculture.
Pero
Yung
nakakatawa
farm
yung
sector nag-aalala.
nakakatawa yung ginamit nilang framework. Trade surplus divided by
the formula
total
used.
import equals sabi ko, sana nakuha yung
Quantitative
mathematics na yun.
Confused the critics yan. Confused. Alam nila, mahina tayo sa math eh.
Nandamay pa eh. Oh.
Tapos, mismo dun sa mga bansang kumikita sila o may surplus sila, katulad sa Pilipinas, nag-impose sila ng kwan? Ng,
17%.
oo, so hindi ko alam kung saan nila kinukuha yun. Pero, mas kabisado ng guest natin yan. No? Mas magaling sa geopolitics sa atin yan, Ami. Yan si
Baka mas magaling sa math. Subukan natin kaya. Our first guest for today, House Assistant Majority Leader Congressman Jude Aside. Sir, magandang hapon and welcome back to Storycon.
Magandang hapon, Kong.
Hi, Congressman.
Sir, nakamute po kayo.
Nakamute po kayo yata.
Magandang hapon
Yun.
po sa lahat.
There you go, sir.
Sir
Okay.
Ed, Sec Ronald, Miss Ami, magandang hapon po.
Sir, totoo ba magaling kayo sa math?
Hindi ho, kaya ako nga po nagpolitiko eh.
Ang bilis ang sagot eh.
Mabilis.
Without any hesitation at all eh.
Kaya po ako nag-pulsay sa UP kasi mas kulang po yung required na math.
Ako rin,
Wala pala pinagawa Paul sa
hindi ako, kaya ako nag-journalism. Kaya ako nag-journalism dahil umiiwas ako sa math eh.
Teka, you wanna ask you about let's go na lang to among other things yung confidential funds na mga bagong pangalan lumitaw.
May mga bagong pangalan pala na lumitaw. Kong eh. No? Dun
Si
sa,
Hanilet, saka si ano.
Pati si Ewan lumabas eh.
Pati si Fiona nandun eh. So, wala akong sinasabi na
Shrek yun, Shrek.
wala akong sinasabi
Si
na
Shrek.
may kinalaman si Vice President doon, ha?
Kung talaga,
Sa Fiona. Pero nakakatuwa na may mga Fiona na pangalan. No, buti na lang, walang Manny Mugato na pangalan doon.
Hindi na kailangan ng pseudonym eh. But sir, ano yung findings niyo? I know may mga bago lumabas na mga pangalan, pero yung listahan kasi ng pangalan humahaba lang ng humahaba, but are we finding anything new aside from the new names?
Well, ako at the moment, I'm actually more interested who are the real persons in the list. I think to focus on the fictitious name is just to overstate the obvious na, no? Alam na natin na hindi totoong mga tao. Kaya siguro ituon na lang natin yung pansin sa mga totoong tao doon. At kung sino man ang totoong tao doon, baka pwede nating ma-identify at tanungin, nakatanggap ba talaga kayo?
Yes, sir.
Or
Yes, sir.
meron ba talagang undertaking in whatever way to support the intelligence or anumang efforts on the part. Ang mahirap lang dito, to be honest, Ami and Sec Ronald, ang mahirap lang dito, ang pagdikit talaga when it refers now to the mandate of the Office of the Vice President. Kasi kung if this were a military agency or office, or it's the Office of the Vice President, or an office that's attached to any of the uniform service, it would have been very easy to determine the propriety of such operations because germane sa nature ng organization yung national security, which is apparently not the case for the Office of the Vice President because hindi naman saklaw ng tanggapan ng trabaho bilang pangalawang pangulo o di kaya bilang kalihim ng edukasyon ang nagkaroon ng ganitong mga intelligence operations. I think that is the more critical issue. And putting that in context, then you will have to ask, why are there fictitious names? Or at the very least, yung mga totoong tao dito, sino ba to sila? Ano ba ang naging participation nila? At itong mga activities na to, if ever, how do they connect the Office of the Vice President with the national security operations or intelligence gathering kung tawagin nila, di ba?
Yes,
So, it actually for me adds up to more questions.
Yes, sir. Sir, if I may, sir.
With how things are.
Yes, sir. If I may, sir, kasi we talked earlier to former COA Commissioner Heidi Mendoza. Tandaan mo ba? When we were talking to her before, kasi si Heidi Mendoza before sa COA would be the one in charge of looking through the confidential fund liquidations eh. Kasi it goes way back eh. Now, ang sabi ni Heidi Mendoza na ang gawain nila dati was ang pinapayagan naman daw ang pseudonyms o yung mga fake names doon sa documentation. However,
Meron silang listahan.
in-emphasize ni Heidi Mendoza, however, required ang agency with the confidential funds to keep a journal of the real names, and that is deposited, I think, with several offices, including the Speaker's office, the Senate President, and the President, as according to COA Circular Number 1 of 2015. So may ganun pong sistema na dapat merong listahan talaga ng real names that would as a matter of transparency, di ba? Para may accountability. Otherwise kasi parang binigyan mo na yung pera, you can do whatever you want.
Tama, Sir Ed. That's in the joint circular actually governing the utilization of confidential funds. That's why I'm saying yung fictitious name, until siguro we'll be able to prove it, the burden of proof is on the part of the Office of the Vice President. Siyempre, they will have to establish kung anong klaseng operation. And that begs the question, bakit ganun kalawak with almost 500 informants, if I'm not mistaken, were involved in intelligence gathering? So, kaya nga, bigyan din natin ng pansin yung mga totoong pangalan. There are about 200 daw na hindi na may apparently, no, if I'm not mistaken,
May birth records.
they have records with PSA, so that we can also understand. Kasi it would appear to be very convenient to invoke that there might be somewhere out there a list or what do you call this, a ledger or something that contains the reconciled names or the anong tawag nito, yung mga pseudonyms kasi pinapayagan naman. But it begs the even bigger question of what are these people up to? What kind of intelligence were they actually gathering, no? And for me, moving forward, how does that correlate to the function of the Office of the Vice President? Because I had all these questions even
Yes, sir.
during the good government hearings, no, in Congress. Bakit ganito ang level ng involvement nung Office of the Secretary of Education, as well as the Office of the Vice President to warrant an operation this big?
Kasama doon sa joint circular, dapat yung speaker ay may kopya ng mga tunay na pangalan. In your interaction with the speaker, meron ba siyang nababanggit na yung office niya ay hawak itong mga tunay na pangalan?
O nagsasabit ba sa kanya?
Oo.
I cannot speak for the speaker no, and the office of the speaker. But what I can tell you now is during the entire course of the deliberations at the Committee on Good Government, there has been no indication that such a ledger exists. Kasi that would have been the best, kung sabihin na lang natin,
Defense.
justification on their part, no? But there has been no indication, there has been no report that such document has been released to or submitted as required by the joint circular.
Congressman, balita namin ngayon from the House, i-scrutinize nyo daw about 800 names. I-verify nyo with the PSA. Pag na-verify nyo or hindi nyo na-verify, ano yung gagawin nyo dun sa information? Idadagdag ba yun dun sa impeachment? Magre-recommend ba kayo na mag-file ng graft or plunder? Ano bang balak dun?
Well, I think no, I cannot preempt the decision of the committee, of the leadership of the committee. But right now, what is crucial with determining the identities of these people is for us to have a better understanding how the funds were used and to whom these funds were disbursed. We're talking almost half a billion pesos here, no? So definitely, it's in the public interest to know kung sino yung nakatanggap, and that's what we're trying to establish by referring this to PSA, whether this fictitious name. Kasi lalong palala ng palala yung mga pangalan na ginagamit mas nakaka-intriga. And at the same time, determine also the propriety of these disbursements. Kung meron ba talagang ginawa, ano yung consideration, o ano yung konteksto, yung kabuuan ng operation sa pinag-uusapan. And for whatever purpose it may serve, I think, of course, without preempting the committee, these are public funds, and therefore, government officials who had custody of this, including the Vice President and the other offices or other officials of their offices, these respective offices, should be made accountable, whether during the impeachment or before the courts, no, for possible malversation of public funds or even plunder.
Last week,
Oversight function nyo to, no? May naiisip na ba rin? Kasi medyo matagal na itong investigation nyo. Meron na rin ba kayong nabubuong mga balak na recommendation for legislation, although you're running out of time, no? 19th Congress is running out of time. Meron ba kayong nababalak na i-propose na legislation?
There is already, ma'am, draft legislation that has been filed, I believe, surrounding the role of the special disbursing officers. I'm not so sure if they filed already, but I know there was a bill that was related to the use of confidential funds. But nonetheless, considering with the time element that we have, it's already safe to say, no, that there is general consensus that we really have to review the process and the mechanisms for governing the utilization, the regulations governing the utilization of confidential funds. That I'm looking forward that in the next Congress, such a comprehensive legislation will be put in place.
Congressman, in relation sa pinag-uusapan natin, may lumabas na news last week na yung mga security officers na naka-assign kay Vice President Sara will be charged with anong kaso ba yung charge sa kanila? Basta in relation
Parang nakita ko niya.
basta in relation dito sa confidential fund. Dahil
disbursement.
mukhang sila yung nag-disburse court martial. Mukhang kakasuhan sila ng court martial. Meron ba kayong alam tungkol dyan? Dahil yan ay directly in relation dito sa pinag-uusapan natin na confidential funds.
Sir Ronald, I do not have direct information of whether cases will be filed before the court martial sa AFP, no, surrounding the use of these funds. To be honest, I don't have any idea. But the culpability of this individual, the accountability of this military personnel, yung dalawang colonel, no, na sa kanila tinurn over yung pera. I stand by my earlier statements during the hearings that they have to be subject to investigation, and possible cases of technical malversation or even plunder will have to be filed against them. Kasi klarong-klaro naman po. Alam naman natin ang regulations surrounding cash advances, regarding the use of confidential funds, and we know how critical the role of the special disbursement officer, and this role cannot be delegated. This role cannot be assigned without the proper accountabilities. The fact that they turned over the amounts, the cash, to the military personnel, military officers under the Office of the Vice President or the Secretary of Education, by itself, for me, constitutes already possible criminal act. Kasi that defeats the whole point of accountability. Kaya nga meron tayong binabayaran na bond. Kaya nga bonded officers ang mga SDOs eh. And for them to turn over without the similar assurance or guarantee of accountability is plainly for me unauthorized. They should have done it in the first place.
Pero nagtataka kami ni Ed, Kong, bakit parang hindi namin sila nakita sa mga hearings ng Quadcom? Pinatawag ba sila?
Hindi ako sigurado because hindi pa naman technically, hindi sa good governance Secretary Ron, hindi po sa Quadcom.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to believe that the deliberations in the Good Government Committee hindi pa naman tapos, ano. And there are many questions. I think it was just a matter of planning and strategizing the course of the discussions. Kasi, syempre, with all deference to the military, they're also bound by their own internal mechanisms. But nonetheless, that does not mean that we are simply absolving them.
Sir Pablo, ako last question from me. Sir, could we at least establish with certainty if there is such a ledger or a logbook or a journal kung saan sinulat doon yung mga totoong pangalan ng mga totoong tao na supposedly tumanggap ng pera as required by the Joint Circular? I mean, di ba, I suppose that the VP's office has to be asked whether or not they really did make a journal or ledger or logbook and submitted it. At the very least, on one side, pwedeng ganun. On the other side po, baka also we can ask whether the leaders of either Chamber of Congress also received the sealed documents as required quarterly by the Joint Circular. In other words, sir, kasi parang tayong nabitin dun sa na all these questions about these names na mukhang peke, pero hindi na napuso dun sa bahagi na, dapat may ledger, nagsabit ba o hindi?
Okay. Sir Ed, I cannot answer for the Office of the Speaker. As I earlier
Yes, sir. I
mentioned,
understand,
if they have in their custody such ledgers, we'd like to believe the reports are with them, and I think there are guidelines on how to go about it. Pero as far as I know from my own experience in the committee and hearing out all the witnesses, there has been no mention on the part of the concerned resource persons from the Office of the Vice President or from DepEd na meron ng ganon. And honestly, if you ask me, at this point, it would be very convenient for them to produce it kung it would appear to be a very convenient excuse for them if they release it at this point. Kasi dapat nun pa lang nila sinabi. Di ba? So if they say at a certain point, no, we have the ledger, for me, that's already a very
Pahabol na lang.
convenient excuse. No? And we will have to consider whether these are actual or real-time ledgers, or they have to establish the veracity. Because in the course of the testimonies before and in the course of the hearings in the House, there has been no mention to such ledgers being available.
Huling tawad na lang, Kong. Alam ko, may pupuntahan pa kayo mahalagang pulong, no?
Okay na po.
Huling tawad na lang. Bukas kasi may TRICOM hearing uli tungkol dito sa fake news, etc. No? At nandun kayo nung nakaraang TRICOM meeting. Actively nag-participate kayo. Balita ko nga ay hindi kayo makakadulo bukas. Pero ano ba yung magiging kakaibahan nitong TRICOM hearing bukas at yung mga previous TRICOM meeting tungkol sa fake news? No?
To be honest, no, I wasn't part of the briefing today. Hindi ako masyadong updated kung ano magiging points to raise for tomorrow. But I'd like to believe that we will remain consistent to the earlier intention, the main intention of the hearing, and that is to make sure that we are able to address yung privilege speech ni Congressman Barbers, especially with the presentation of fake news. Okay.
Congressman?
Yes.
Hello po.
Yeah.
Oo nga,
May pabula
meron
si
pa,
Ami.
tuloy pa po.
Sir,
Okay. And I think at this point, no, they will be more focused on the possible legislative actions that will be taken. But I was in one of these discussions, one thing that I really raised before the committee and the other committee members in our discussions on the side is really to start establishing the framework in which we will have to basically frame the entire legislative proposal that we're going to make. Kasi it's as I've been very careful, we have to make sure that this does not impede in any way the freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Nonetheless, careful balancing act must be considered. So we're looking along the lines of the initiatives na ginawa ng European Union, who have actually been medyo advanced na in terms of regulating and creating legislation for social media use, including misinformation, disinformation, is creating a framework kung if we have the same understanding of what, for example, social media is all about, for example, making a common understanding on the accountability or the definition of what an influencer or what constitutes an influencer. And on the basis of that framework, create legislation that will not only regulate, but actually ensure that the rights also of users are also protected. Kasi social media naman cannot be all bad. We have to take note that fake news that's being, or disinformation or misinformation that's being shared in social media is the anomaly, not social media itself. So hindi naman natin pinagbabawalan ang tao na magsulat o magpahayag ng kanilang saloobin on social media. But the question is, are those that are resulting in harmful consequences? Like for example, if there's a threat already to national security, if it's starting to be a threat to public order and security, or for example, if it's damaging the reputational integrity of our institutions, I think these are the things that we need to draw the line.
Okay. Sir, si Ami ata may gustong ihabol kung papayag,
Yes.
kung papayag ba
Kaya
kayo.
habol ko lang yung yung sa good government. Mga ilan pa kayang hearing yon? Yung balak ninyo?
So far, no. I think with at right now, no, with the elections coming and of course with the impeachment, I really am not sure how do we proceed with the hearings in good government. We're still waiting for more instructions coming from the respective chairpersons of the committee.
Okay.
Okay, maraming salamat sir for joining us this afternoon sa Storycon. House Assistant Majority Leader and Tingog Party List Congressman Jude Aside. Sir, thank you for joining us today.
Maraming salamat, Congressman.
Thank you,
Magandang hapon po.
Congressman.
Thank you, sir. We've got developing news and the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao. And of course, with us still, Ami Pamintuan of the Star in her yellow, bright yellow blouse. And Tito Ronald Llamas, our resident political papa, in his, how do I describe that?
Traditional. Traditional, whatever.
Singsabi dati, si Ami yung sabi, si Ray singsabi na para siyang ano, yung sa
parang mantel.
mantel.
Oo, parang mantel. Ganti lang niya yun dahil tinawag ko siyang Sibra. Binanggit kong Sibra yung kanyang kwan.
Oh, teka. Let's bring in our guest for their second guest for today. Ryan Dagsa Maminta, a board member of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan ng 2nd District ng Palawan. Sir, magandang hapon, board member, and thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Gandang hapon, board member.
Good afternoon po.
Magandang hapon po, Sir Ed, Sir Ronald, and Ma'am Ami. Magandang hapon po sa inyo at magandang hapon po sa mga kababayan po natin.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you coming. You're joining us today, sir.
Kumakampanya ba kayo, Kwan? Are you running ngayon?
Opo, I'm running for my last term
Okay.
sa 2nd District po ng Palawan. And we're campaigning the whole day at tuloy-tuloy lang po yung kampanya.
So, pasensya na sa istorbo, no?
No
Board
problem,
member,
sir.
no? Ang tanong siguro namin, baka simulan nyo na, magbigay nyo kami ng background dito sa mga hinuli ng mga James Bond spies, no? Ng China.
Di umano, James
So,
Bond
ano
spies.
bang background nila?
Allegedly.
O ilang taon na ba sila, no? Saan ba sila nanggaling, no?
Oh, yes, sir. Are they teenagers by any chance? O hindi naman? Bit of background, sir.
Kasing edad ko siguro.
Eh?
Opo, matanda lang po siguro ng konti si Sir Ronald.
Yan, no?
Konti.
Nasa mid-20s po ito.
Yan.
Nasa late 30s yung mga kabataan na ito ng mga Palawenyo. Dito po sa 2nd District. Sa Brooks Point, sa Quezon,
Brooks
sa
Point.
yung babae po, taga Puerto Princesa.
Mhm.
Si Dave Cervantes at saka si Natalie Plesardo ay yung mga unang batches ng scholars ng Provincial Government of Palawan noong 2018 na pinadala sa Hainan Normal University because of the Memorandum of Agreement and then Sisterhood Agreement ng Province of Palawan
Okay.
with Hainan Province na magkaroon ng
Exchange.
all expenses paid scholarship ang mga Palawenyo sa Hainan Normal University. So, kung hindi po ako magkakamali, tatlo, apat o 5 batches na kami ng mga scholars na ipinadala doon. Si David Cervantes, saka si Albert Endencia, at saka si Natalie Plesardo ay mga graduates na po noong mga nakaraang mga taon sa visa po ng scholarship na yan. na pinasok ng provincial government of Palawan noong 2017-2018.
Sir, quick singit lang. Itong video pinapakita natin na wala akong kinalaman yan doon sa mga Palawan students.
nga,
Ito po
NBI
yung
yan eh.
para lang malinaw sa mga taong nanonood. Yung mga video pinapakita natin, ito yung mga equipment na di umano'y nakuha doon sa
Mga
alleged
nahuli
Chinese
rito.
spies
Oo.
Opo.
Ako
last
po,
year.
tanong ko, so nakakailan na po tayong Pilipinong pinapadala sa Hainan under the scholarship of China? Chinese scholarship yan eh.
Well,
Nakakailan na po tayo? From Palawan lang.
from Palawan lang.
Kung hindi po ako magkakamali, Ma'am Ami, ay mga nasa mga 50 na siguro or more than 50.
Ba,
akong
marami
exact
na.
count. Wala akong exact count, pero karamihan po dyan, graduates na ng mga degree courses.
Iba-iba po yun, ano? Iba-iba. Iba-ibang degrees yun kasi malaking university yan eh.
Opo, iba-ibang degrees po 'yon. Na mga na mga scholars natin sa ng mga Palawenyo na ipinadala sa Hainan University simula noong 2018. Up until now po, mayroong mga ongoing scholarship doon, may mga estudyante pa po tayo doon na
Mga ilan po? Mga ilan pa po kaya ang nandun sa, sa Hainan?
Choppy.
Ang muling bilang ko po, nasa 10 to 12 na mga, kasi wala pang official report kung ilang.
Nag-freeze yata, Ed. Nag-freeze.
Sir, we're having a hard time deciphering what you're saying. Could you, is he still on the line?
Parang nawala.
No. O sige,
Yeah,
let's start again.
nandyan siya sa Zoom pero
Ay.
wala siya yung...
Yes, sir. Sir, if you don't mind, sir, we'll call you na lang on the phone para we'll just use the audio kasi baka nahirapan yung bandwidth eh. Sayang naman po
Opo.
if we can't hear you eh.
Opo.
Ami, teka. Ami, try again. Mukhang okay na yung audio.
Ayan na siya.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
A board member, ito bang
Yes, sir.
tatlo na hinuli under suspicion of espionage, ito ba ay graduate na doon sa kanilang course sa Hainan or sila ay ongoing pa rin yung kanilang scholarship?
Mga graduates na po ng degree courses yan, Sir Ed. Sila
Sa
David
Hainan.
Cervantes, Natalie Pizardo at saka si Albert Indencia. Ang unang batch po ng graduates ay kabilang si David Cervantes saka si Natalie Pizardo.
So,
Second
anong
batch naman ay si Albert Indencia. So bumalik po sila doon. Apparently, mayroon silang job opportunities na nakuha sa university at saka sa outside the university sa Hainan province.
So sir, tapos na yung ano nila?
Tapos na.
Tapos na yung ano?
Oo.
Tapos na po.
Bumalik sila para parang may offer na trabaho.
Opo, tama po yun.
Okay,
Pero
but
hindi pa sila nagtatrabaho.
Si David Cervantes, Ma'am Ami, ay nagtatrabaho na.
As what?
Nagtuturo doon eh at naging assistant yata siya ng isang professor doon. Tapos mayroon sa pharmaceutical na trabaho. Mga job opportunities po na kinukuha nila doon kasi pabalik-balik na itong si Dave doon eh. Pero si Natalie at saka si Albert ay parang first time pala magtatrabaho ng oportunidad nila doon sa Hainan province.
pero sir, is there anything
Wala
that could...
po kayong nalalaman na link nila sa security or law enforcement sector ng Pilipinas. Kasi nakakapagtaka kung out of 50, bakit siyang tatlong yan ang pinili at kinakasuhan ngayon ng espionage. Medyo mabigat yung kasong yan sa China.
Opo, mabigat po
Matindang parusa dyan. Wala kayong nalalaman as far as you can tell na link nila. Did they ever work with the PNP, for example, o AFP, or Coast Guard, or kahit militia group?
Or Philippine
Dito
Star.
sa
Wala po kaming
Pilipinas.
alam na linkages nila doon. Pati po yung pamilya nila, wala ring alam na linkages nila. Nalaman lang namin yan nung nagkaroon na ng aresto nitong nakaraang mga araw na binanggit sa atin ng mga kapamilya po nila. So, nagtataka rin kami kung bakit umabot sa ganon. At bakit naman na nagkaroon ng pag-aresto sa kanila.
But so you're saying, sir, there is nothing that you know of that could possibly link them to any activities beyond what they were studying and applying to dyan sa Hainan. Tama ho ba? There's nothing that you know of.
Opo, tama po yun, sir.
Hindi naman sila na-link sa Philippine Star.
Wala naman po siguro.
Hindi naman sila expert sa sa IT or artificial intelligence. Hindi naman sila mga techie.
Siyempre po, mga kabataan ngayon, teke na rin, pero may tuto yung capacity nila.
Alam niyo
So
ba,
normal na capacity lang for social media, mga ganon.
alam niyo ba, board member, kung ano yung kanilang kinuhang kurso sa Hainan University? Nag-freeze ulit yan.
Mag-freeze ulit.
Bumabalik sila dito sa amin, ay nakakausap din namin sila, nakakakwentuhan, maayos naman yung trabaho nila doon. Maayos naman
ano yung kurso nila?
Yung lagay nila doon up until last year po at up until na nabanggit ng mga kapamilya nila ito sa amin.
Ano yung kurso nila
Ano
sa
po yung
Hainan?
kurso?
Hainan University.
I'm not familiar with the course of David Cervantes po, pero magaling na bata po yan, mahusay na bata. At isa sa mga top graduates po natin doon sa Hainan University.
Sir,
Yung
bakit niyo
dalawa
po...
po, ano po ang kurso ng dalawa? Yung dalawa pa.
Yung dalawa pa po ay hindi rin ako pamilyar kung ano yung natapos nila, pero mga graduates na rin po sila.
Sir, bakit po niyo sabi nga everything was normal until last year? What exactly happened last year?
Nung last year po, ang kwento ng mga kapamilya, ay biglang nawala yung line of communication nila kay David Cervantes. Kasi normally, nagko-communicate sa kanila. At ang kwento nila sa akin ay, nung hindi na nila makuha yung paraan para makakommunicate si David Cervantes, nagpaalam sila sa program coordinators, program directors nung scholarship na hindi na nila makontak si David. Apparently, nakipag-ugnayan yung probinsya sa consulate at doon napag-alaman na naaresto siya noong October pa.
October pa.
Opo, noong October pa
yung
naaresto siya.
Oh, that's why you were saying last year. Akala ko ito only this year eh.
This recently lang eh, no?
Oo.
Yung dalawa po.
Pala. Pero bakit ngayon lang natin nabalitaan, Ed?
Yung dalawa po, yun yung recent arrest.
Gano'n ka recent,
Si
board member?
Albert Intencia saka si Natalie Lizardo. Parang, kung hindi ako magkakamali, itong taon lang po na ito sila na-aresto.
Kailan po ngayon taon?
Mga early January or yung isa ay itong February na po siya na-aresto.
So,
Matagal na yun, ha? Bakit ngayon lang natin nabalitaan?
several months pala.
O nga po, nung yung pamilya hindi rin nagsasalita, nung minsan pong napadako ko doon sa Brooks Point, nakausap ko yung isang kapamilya ni David, nagsabi sa akin. So nag-imbestiga tayo ng konti, napag-alaman natin na totoo nga na gano'n, pero tahimik masyado at hindi masyadong pinag-uusapan. Kaya po nung March 6, nag-privilege speech po ako sa Sangguniang Panlalawigan, nagtatanong ng kalagayan ng ating mga kababayan na ito. At umahanap ng impormasyon, sumagot po yung mga program directors namin, program managers ng scholarship na indeed mayroon mga talagang aresto. Pagkatapos nagsabi rin yung embahada na mayroong nangyaring pag-aresto at ina-assist nila yung mga bata. Pero hindi pa po confirm yon until last few days na naglabas na ng news ang Chinese News Daily na indeed na-aresto nga po yung tatlo at nasa kustodiya nila yung tatlo sa kasong espionage. So, confirmed na. Nakita ng mga kapamilya yung video sa TikTok, sa other social media platforms na nandoon yung kanilang kapamilya. Parang nabuhayan sila ng loob kasi sa tagal ng panahon na hindi nila nakakausap, ay nakita nila na buhay pa pala talaga yung kanilang mga kapamilya.
So, Ami, parang missing lang sila. Hindi nila, dahil iba kasi yung sistema sa China eh. Di ba? Yung hanggat hindi lumalabas doon officially.
Hindi sinabihan ng Chinese embassy. Kasi they are scholars former Chinese scholars. Hindi sinabihan yung pamilya nila dito na inaresto sila sa China.
Yes, oo. At dahil nga wala namang lumalabas na, wala naman kasing Philippine Star doon eh. Tsaka,
Hindi, sa Global Times yun, sa media lang nalaman yan eh.
may-ari
It
ng,
didn't come from the Chinese government.
ang may-ari ng
So
Global
hindi
Times.
sinabihan yung pamilya rito na inaresto yung mga kamag-anak ninyo. Tama po ba yon?
Tama po yun, Ma'am Ami. Wala pong gano'n until na-confirm nila sa consulate, pero wala pa talagang appearance na nakita o physical presence na nakita yung pamilya kahit sa video, sa calls o kung ano pa mang mga paraan ng pakikipag-usap o communication up until last Friday or Saturday na naglabas ng news report yung Chinese News Daily na may kasamang video. At doon sa video, sa report, sinasabi na na-aresto talaga nila itong tatlo pagkatapos mayroong confession. At nag-confess yung tatlo sa espionage. Yun po
Grabe.
yung nakakaduda. So,
Grabe yung
nagulat
ordeal.
kami na nag-confess yung tatlo dahil unang-una, alam namin, walang karanasan yung mga yan, walang kakayahan, walang training para gawin nila yon. At mayroon sinasabi sila na link nila sa intelligence network ng Pilipinas na kumuha sa kanila, nag-recruit at nagbabayad, bumibili ng impormasyon. No? Parang ganun po yung mga pangyayari.
Grabe yung ordeal ng mga yan, no? Dahil una, mga bata pa sila, no? Ikalawa, several months na pala. Yung isa, October pa, under custody. At yung ordeal ng kanilang mga pamilya na hindi alam kung ano nangyari sa kanilang mga kamag-anak. At until lumabas sa China Daily na parang official newspaper ng Communist Party, ay wala silang kaalam-alam, hindi nila madalaw dahil baka pati sila ay makasuhan, no? Dahil ibang klaseng sistema dyan sa China.
Saka madali magpaamin dyan, ha?
Oo, madali magpaamin
Kahit
dyan.
pagpatay kay Rizal, aaminin mo dyan.
Kaya nga po,
Talaga.
Oo, grabe dyan, no? Walang
pero
kwenta eh.
ayun po yung pamilya ng loob kasi nakita nila yung kanilang mga kapamilya na buhay pa pala.
Ito nga eh,
At
ito nga,
kahit na walang communication, nakita nila doon sa video na yung mga kapamilya nila ay still alive and nangangailangan ng tulong natin kung sakasakali.
ito nga provincial board eh, itong number 2 highest ranking officer ng People's Liberation Army. Hanggang ngayon, missing. No? Yun na yung pinakamataas,
kaya
ha?
nga.
Second highest. Hanggang ngayon, di alam kung nasaan. No? Kaya,
At least nakita nga, at least yung pamilya, nakita nila yung kamag-anak nila ngayon.
Oo.
And kung maalala po ninyo, Ma'am Ami at saka Sir Ed, Sir Ronald, few months ago, nag-aresto rin tayo ng mga Chinese spies dito rin sa Palawan.
Oo.
So parang more than 5 na yung na-aresto natin dito nung mga nakaraan.
Kaya malinaw na parang
Arrest
ganti.
made by our security forces and the National Bureau of Investigation.
So parang ganti talaga, no? Kahit sino-sino na lang.
Ganti-ganti.
Ang dapat ginawa
Parang
nila,
lumalabas po ay on our part, retaliation na yun sa ginawang pag-aresto kay Mr. Cervantes.
dapat ang ginawa nila, inimbitahan nila si Manny Mugato at si Ed Lingao
no,
sa isang tour sa China, tapos tsaka nila hinuli. Dahil yun, yung Ed Lingao at Manny Mugato, yun pwedeng pagsuspetsahan yun.
Wala nga akong visa dun eh. Teka, pakulan lang natin si board member. Board member Ryan Dagsama Minta, sir. Maraming salamat for joining us this afternoon. Siya po yung member ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan ng Palawan 2nd District.
Kung may bago pa kayong balita,
Yes, sir.
provincial
Patuloy po.
board, imbitahin namin kayo ulit. No?
Opo, maraming salamat po. Mabuhay po kayo.
Yes, sir.
Salamat po.
Maganda siguro talk to the family din eh. If you
Yes,
have the chance,
yes.
Si board member
Dahil,
Kasap.
grabe.
Oo.
Grabe impunity yan.
You can imagine
Dahil
the
mga,
trauma
biro mo,
of the
mga
family.
20s, di ba? Tapos walang background, kahit ano sa security, no? Walang...
Ganyan naman dun.
tapos inimbitahan
Ganyan
pa.
naman dun. Pati yung mga journalist katakot. It's the biggest jail for journalists,
Oo
that
nga,
country.
oo. Tapos inimbitahan pa sila para mag-aral doon. Di ba? Tapos,
Sarili nila yung scholar, inaresto nila.
di ba? Sabi ko nga, number 2 highest general eh. Missing.
Teka, bukas mo na yung patuloy yan.
Kaya nga.
Basta na tayo, pinapalis
Hindi,
tayo.
si Ami kasi nagsasalita.
Ami kasi,
Kaya nahatak lang ako eh.
Mamaya, pami din tayo na tayo
Oo.
bumalik kay Rizal. Okay. Thank you for joining Storycon today. Ami Pamintuan, ang bossing ng Philippine Star. And Tito Rol Llamas, ang bossing ng mga political pundit.
Nabubulol ka na eh.
Well, nga eh. Just again, tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the Storycon. I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News, all sides, all the time.